Hey, what's up, everybody? If you appreciate the format and you appreciate what we're doing here, then make sure you contribute to the Cash App, make sure you contribute to the PayPal, make sure you donate to the Super Chat. It's only you and your contributions that keep this thing going. Thanks.
Dramatization.
After a car wreck, you may have to fight with a highly trained insurance company rep whose job is to knock your damaged claim down and out. It's a bad idea to enter the ring alone against a trained boxer, and it could be a bad idea to fight against a big insurance company by yourself. When the bell rings, attorney Dennis Sperling will be there to fight for your rights. If you've been seriously injured in a car wreck, call me, attorney Dennis Sperling, at 866-529-2444. That's
Dramatization.
After a car wreck, you may have to fight with a highly trained insurance company rep whose job is to knock your damaged claim down and out. It's a bad idea to enter the ring alone against a trained boxer, and it could be a bad idea to fight against a big insurance company by yourself. When the bell rings, attorney Dennis Sperling will be there to fight for your rights. If you've been seriously injured in a car wreck, call me, attorney Dennis Sperling, at 866-529-2444. That's 866-529-2444.
Hi, my name is Dennis Sperling. I'm not a lawyer, but my daddy is.
Yeah, if you've been hurt in a car accident, call my daddy.
No need to scream and yell like a little kid.
Yeah, no, yeah.
My daddy will fight for your rights.
Yeah, fight for your rights.
If you've been involved in a car accident, call my daddy, attorney Dennis Sperling.
Hello, I'm attorney Dennis Sperling. If you've been injured in a car wreck, call me at 713-229-0770.
Call my daddy, daddy.
What's up, you guys? This is Uncle D, and we're back. Hey, what's up, you guys? This is Dennis Sperling, and I am back again. As you guys can see, I'm back to my normal backdrop, which means I'm back home here in the United States after enjoying my vacation leading up to my birthday here, which is coming up tomorrow. But you know, I was going to try to take the rest of the week off here, but there's just so much going on that I felt the need to come in and talk to you guys about something that's very personal to me, i.e. Black male misery and death, and the fact, and point out to you guys something that you probably already know, that it is big business in the United States. Recently, we've had a news report come out saying that one of the founders of Black Lives Matter basically went on a spending spree and bought about $3 million worth of homes. Now, I don't have a problem with anybody purchasing homes and living their life and enjoying their life based on the money that they earn, but I think the problem that I have and that many other Black men have is that this money are profits that come from donations, profits that were donated to Black Lives Matter after Black men had been shot or killed or beaten to death by the police. So in our minds, we ask ourselves, how is this something that's acceptable? And when did this start? I'm going to ask you a question. If Malcolm X went on a real estate buying spree of high-end homes in white people's neighborhoods in the Bahamas, I believe that people would still be angry with Malcolm X. His image would be forever tarnished. I believe that because we're so accustomed to seeing black men killed that we don't realize that it has become somewhat of a big business in the United States. It's become a business where people benefit financially as a result of black male death. People have been told for decades that the civil rights movement had been hijacked by opportunistic shills out to make huge personal profits. People like Jesse Jackson, Al Sharpton, etc., all have become millionaires promoting and selling lies to the masses of black people specifically. In the last decade, black men and boys have been murdered by racist police and vigilantes, and the acts have been recorded. And it's not that this hasn't always been happening, but it's been sensationalized as a result of portable cell phones with footage and the social media outlets which allow you to update your profiles with these videos rapidly, and people around the world can see them instantaneously. So everybody's a news agent now. Everybody is CNN now. And so after reviewing this horrific act, well-meaning people of all colors from all over the world see the video footage, and they donate money to nonprofit organizations like Black Lives Matter. And they do this in order to fight racism. They do this specifically because they don't want to see more black men being shot and killed and murdered. And so they donate to these organizations. So every time there's a black man who's shot, donations to these organizations kick in. There's an uptick. It's no different than the Red Cross. The Red Cross will say, donate to the Red Cross. When there's a hurricane that hits Haiti, or an earthquake that hits some third world country in South America. And so the Red Cross reaps these hundreds of millions of dollars. But as we know, what happened in Haiti, in the Bill Clinton Foundation, Hillary Clinton Foundation, the Haitians didn't get much of that, from what I understand. Likewise, Black Lives Matter. They have all but announced that their movement is anti-blackmail. However, when a black man is murdered, they collect money and they fill their coffers, and they do nothing for black men. They do not promote black men leading homes and communities or neighborhoods. And nor do they promote heterosexual black male couples or heterosexual black couples headed by strong black father figures. Their website, up until recently, promotes trans, LGBT, and black women empowerment. Nothing wrong with that, but where's the balance? But here's the thing. They still collect money and have become rich as an organization because they're capitalizing on people's sympathy for black men who are murdered. Now, news recently broke, as I said, that one of these lovely ladies, and I'll put this back up on the screen. One of these lovely ladies here, Patrice Colliers, who helped co-founder of Black Lives Matter, used the donations, used the money she earned as a, I guess, whatever officer position she holds, rightfully hers, right? She used that money to buy homes in rich white neighborhoods in the Caribbean. What I understand, allegedly. So this is distasteful to many of us, especially as black men, because we see it as a person who is directly benefiting from the death of black men. And it's atrocious. It's hard to swallow, but there's always been organizations that have done that. As I said earlier, civil rights organizations like the Rainbow Push, NAACP, the Urban League, Black Lives Matters. Those are not the only, but those are not the only organizations that benefit from black male death. Trauma centers, emergency rooms, doctors, hospitals. They get fresh supply of bodies and training and experience. I once talked to an emergency room doctor who said, we get more experience stateside having our doctors work in some of these black neighborhoods like Baltimore, Compton, South Central Los Angeles, Houston, than we would get overseas. So these doctors are being trained and made better so that they can go about their lives are being enriched with knowledge, training their doctors on using black male bodies who've been shot up and beaten, often by other black men. Organ donation organizations. They get a fresh supply that they can resell at high prices. Some of those organs go onto the black market, by the way. People who can afford those fresh organs, those melanated organs, those strong, youthful, the ones they can salvage at least, the heart, the lungs, the liver, kidneys, and they use that, they sell them for cash. Oftentimes when your loved one dies, they don't even let you see the body until after they harvest the organs, and you don't even know where they went. Somewhere between the operating table and the morgue, the organs disappear. Somewhere between the operating table, the morgue, and the funeral home, the organs disappear. Thousands and thousands of dollars. Sometimes the amount of the organs outstrip the amount of money it would have taken to save this person. You needed a $100,000 operation and you got $300,000 in organs that they can sell to the highest bidder. Those of you who are organ donors, I don't know. I don't know about that. Why? Well, if you got that organ donor tag on and you got $300,000 in organs in your body, and they got some rich person in Seattle or New York and wherever the hell they are, and they got a choice between pulling the plug on you, harvesting those organs and making that money for the hospital, what do you think they're gonna do? You're not a doctor. You don't know what's happening behind the scenes. They just let you expire, harvest your organs, and next thing you know, you're helping sustain the life of some rich person who doesn't know you, doesn't care about you, and but has enough money to move forward in life because they can purchase your organs. What is that? So be careful. But that's where they get these bodies. All these black men being shot down in these towns, in these cities around the United States. What do you think is happening to those organs? You think they're letting them go to waste? No. And it's mostly black men, young black men, strong black men getting shot down. They can damn near count how many they're going to catch, how many they're going to get. So they want you to continue shooting yourselves and killing yourself. There's big business in organ donation, organ donors. It's a big business. Funeral homes, churches, they get to charge if after you die, they get to charge your family and friends the costs associated with putting you down the right way. They get a chance to charge you, well, if you really love your loved one, right? You know, you'll spend that extra $5,000 or $10,000. Make sure y'all get the likes up. I know this is not a very happy subject, but it's something we need to talk about. The prison industrial complex, law enforcement, judges, lawyers, they get to investigate the crimes that are committed against you and that you have allegedly committed. They get to convict you, and they get to put, and everybody gets paid. That's how we keep the system going. And this plays into the part that the politicians play, the so-called tough on crime politicians. along with the politicians that preach reform. All of them get paid. The liberals and the conservatives get paid. On one hand, they got the scared taxpayers paying more money for more cops, more programs, more this and more that, because they got them scared of you. Even you don't even live in most of their neighborhood. And then on the other hand, they raise taxes and tell, hey, look, we need to do better. We need more funding. We need more raise your tax so we get more funding so we can keep them from doing this. Either way, they all win. They all get more money. They just pulling money off. Everybody's winning. And you dying. That's how this goes. They are directly benefiting from black male death. Real estate agents, housing developers, security firms. Who knew? The real estate agents get to scare the suburban white folks and everybody. You don't want to live in that neighborhood. You want to live in this neighborhood. So they get to charge you another $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 for the same house built by different people. Well, I'm sorry, the same house built by the same builders just because it's in a different neighborhood away from you. So they get to charge extra $500,000 for that, probably on a smaller piece of land. So they making more commissions. Housing developers, security firms, of course, will come guard your phone. Well, you over there in over there in Blackistan. Oh well, we're going to have to charge you triple the rate. So they get to make more money over there. See, the cost of houses to keep you so you can live in a safe neighborhood. More security if you live in an unsafe neighborhood. Teachers union, school boards, teachers. Did you know they get to charge more to come teach you in the ghetto? And here's the other thing, it's less pressure because they seldom held responsible for the inadequate education that you receive. So how about that? They get charged more to come teach you that same math course they're teaching out in the suburbs. Your little black kids. Teachers union. Oh, well, you can't fire them over there, even though it's bad. Those kids are bad. That's why they're not able to keep up. It's a bad neighborhood, bad environment. This is what they do. So they get to charge more. The entertainment industry, what do? They got your own people, actors, musicians, rappers. They write and perform and make TV shows about your life and your death and your pain and everything that comes in between. And guess what? People around the world look at it. Ooh, wow, that's amazing. Ooh, look how they, just like you think they're on National Geographic when they listen to some of these raps. Listen about what's going on to black people in the ghetto. NWA, what do? They made black pain marketable in the form of rap music. Telling about who got shot, who got murdered, all this foolishness that we have to go through. And they're not the only ones. Master P, who else? The Hot Boys. I'm just talking about the rappers I remember. I don't even know what's going on now. But they make money off of black men's pain and suffering and death and the drama and trauma that we have to do in all these industries. Then they make movies about it. Television shows. Make plenty of money about all that. And I already talked about the civil rights organizations and the judges and the lawyers, the insurance companies, politicians. It's almost like they think they're winning the lottery ticket. So the question that I have for you all today, and what can we as black men do to limit the benefit, the financial benefit that others receive from our deaths? Because see, as long as there's a financial benefit in our death, they have no financial incentive to stop it. So that's going to be the question today. Now, a little housekeeping. I want to give a shout out to Universal 178. I appreciate you. He apparently is my first member the first person to join Dennis Sperling Unfiltered. Thank you so much. If you want to join Dennis Sperling Unfiltered, it's very simple. Just click that button that says join and join up. That's what I want you guys to do. Join Dennis Sperling. I got some, I look forward to somebody. I put these really nice images up, like when you pay a certain amount of money and you like donate, like it might be $10, whatever. But there are certain images that's gonna come up. Some really nice, some of these black warriors that we spoke about. I hope somebody join in and start using those icons and emojis. I really look forward to seeing that. That lets me know you guys. So join. All you gotta do is go down to this screen where it says join here. I'll show you right here so you can see. It's real easy. All right. I'm gonna put this up real quick. And I want you guys to join in if you so feel. But let me show you exactly where it is. See this button right here that says join? I'm clicking. All you gotta do is click on that button right there. And you can join the channel. All right. I got 3 or 4. So I got Young and Hustling. We got Balling. We got Balling, and then we got Rich Rolling. Okay. So y'all come in there, and that's for everybody who wants to join in, man. We got Young and Hustling, Balling, and Rich Rolling. All right. And then, you know, if you really appreciate what I'm doing here, man, that's a quick way to show that. And see these badges for recurring payment, canceling time credit. I like these badges. I got the star right there. And then I got the silver star, the silver crown, the gold star, the gold crown, the jewel crown, and of course, you got the sun, which is the crown of all crowns. And here's the other one I got. I got these kings. We got Shaka Zulu, right? We got Mansa Musa, right there. So you guys make sure you join in. Just hit the join button and come on in. And of course, we got right there too. And was the last one. But join the channel, fellas. I appreciate that, man. We got some special stuff in there for those of you all who joined the channel. I appreciate that. But in the meantime, the question of the day is, and thank you so much, Damon J. I appreciate the contribution. Who else we got here? I want to make sure I give a shout out. Tour Noor, thank you. Tote Noor, thank you. Join the channel, Malika M. Bain, thank you. I appreciate it. It's good to be back here at my normal workstation, right? Let me see who else we got in here. Oh wow, Randall, thank you, Randall. Respect, Uncle D. W. Alfonso, thank you. He said he's gonna catch the replay. And Ryan Jackson, thank you guys. I appreciate that. Please join the channel. I look forward to you guys joining the channel, and we're just gonna have a good time. And there's gonna be some other stuff we got going on behind the scenes. But the question I have to ask for you guys, for those of you brothers who are brave enough to come in here today, because this is gonna be a pretty painful subject, you know, because who wants to recognize that there are people who are supposed to care about us, a country who many of us have sworn an oath to protect and provide that benefits specifically from our death. Even things like, they always put, when black men get shot, they always put the video up over and over and over again. They always, but you know, when white people get shot, they never put it up. You might see it one time, you got to go all to WhatsApp to see it, but they never put it up. They always put black male death up. It's intriguing. It gets the ratings up. These companies benefit from that. You see, join the conversation if you want to come in, and anybody who wants to continue contributing, go ahead and do that. Cash App, PayPal. I do believe I have somebody who contributed to the super chat. I'm sorry, to the PayPal. And I want to make sure I acknowledge those folks. And shout out to my man, Essential Entities. Thank you so much. I appreciate your contributions. I'm getting this out the way first so we can flow through this conversation. I don't want to run any commercials, but I will if I have to. Chow Chow, thank you so much. He said he saw me on Mr. Palmer. Thank you so much. All right, my man Malika is back in the house. What's up, brother? How you doing today?
Peace and love, brother. Peace and love. Happy
All
birthday to you again.
I know, man. It's coming up tomorrow, man. My lovely fiance and my sons are insisting that I celebrate my birthday. And I'm like, yeah, it's not that big of a deal. But they're like, it is, Daddy. I'm like, nah, it's not that big of a deal. So I think I'm gonna give in and go with it. But my birthday is technically tomorrow, but I still want to talk to you guys because it's Sunday and I want to talk to you. And then I've been on vacation. So but it's good to be back here. It was hot out there too, man. I don't know, after a while, I was sweating it out there, man, on that porch, man. But it was good to be out there. So Malika, man, we got a serious subject here, and I'm happy you're here. You know, the business of black male death, and when I say they, I mean basically the rest of society capitalize on our loss. So the question that I have for you is, well, I mean, you go ahead and open up, man. What do you think? I hit a whole bunch of stuff in there, like, what if Malcolm X had gone on a real estate buying spree? You know what I'm saying? Like, how can they do? I mean, BLM should stand for blood money. The BL, you know, BLM, Black Large Mansion. You know what I'm saying? Like, and you know, apparently they took this. They took the story that was on the New York Post. They took it down or something off of Facebook. Like, I mean, you understand what I'm saying, man? It's like they benefit from my death. All these different industries, and I just pointed it out on a superficial level. What are your thoughts on this, man?
I'm not surprised because they've been doing it for 400 and 500 years, man.
Talk to us.
You got to understand something, man. And I'm glad you have this platform where we can speak our minds and intelligently. And I want to come at it this way as we brothers. Take the emotion out of it and see how the way we're seen in this country. We're seen as commodities. Chattel slavery may be over, but we're still a commodity. Dead or alive, but especially dead. BLM, those women, they're arguing now. Those quote unquote lovely ladies are arguing now because of how the way the money that they got funneled through that whole corporation. Those three women, they're arguing about how the way it is because one woman got more, one woman got this, and you're seeing this lady for the past week. A lot of information is coming out how the way she embezzled and used that blood money to gain her wealth. Yeah. Here's the funny thing. She's making generational wealth off of our backs, just like how the way slave masters did. But you just did something very important last week. You showed us that black women in the past who were slave owners in this country did the same thing that this woman did. Made money, made generational wealth. So it's nothing different that this woman did that women did hundreds of years ago. The problem is that now we have a bigger magnifying glass to see it. And what we need to do is we need to uncover it more. Yeah. And
I was going to add a footnote. What Malika is pointing out to you is that last week, while I was in Hispaniola, I pointed out that 42% of the slaves, 42% of the slave owners in Charleston, South Carolina, which was a major city in the South, 42% of them were black. And of that 42%, 64% of those black slave owners were female. They were black women. And so I put all that to say to you guys, and see, this is my thing, Malika, and I want people to understand why I'm bringing these facts up. It's because in the black community, we have a lot of simps who are beholden to black women who they think can do no wrong. Fact. And what I'm trying to point out to you, brothers, is that They are human beings, and they will be as opportunistic as any other human being will be. And you have to begin to look out for yourself. You can't put women up on a pedestal and then become disappointed when your simping doesn't convert them over into what you think they should be. And that's kind to you and good to you and whatnot. They're human beings. They're going to do what human beings do. This is not anti-woman. This is pro-black men being black men, putting God first. See, that's my whole point of saying that, because a lot of brothers, and I'm gonna let you get back on that point, but this is just a footnote because I think it's important. I don't want you to be angry with black women. I don't want you to be angry with anybody. I don't want you to be angry with yourselves, white men, white women. When I point out that white women was bad, horrible slave owners also. They own slaves too. They own, and the slaves were predominantly black men. I gave you guys that information. Don't be mad at anybody, brothers. Just recognize that everybody's looking out for themselves, and then they got you looking out for them too. But you're not looking out for yourself. And so they're taking advantage of you. And I'm tired of having that mentality where it's acceptable for black men to allow others to take advantage of us, because that's poison. And that will seep into me and you and our children or our sons. And I don't want that. We need to begin to change that way of thinking. So that was my whole reason of bringing it up, is showing you that these people are not perfect. Black women have always seen themselves as a different group than you, and you need to see yourselves for who you are, a child of God first, and to look out for yourself first. But go ahead, Malika. I didn't want to cut. I wanted to add that in there because that was a perfect segue into that. But go ahead and back to your point, brother.
I'm glad that the covering is coming off, the veneer.
Yeah.
And you're seeing people for who and what they really are.
Yeah.
That organization never had our best interest at heart. Never. Never. Just from their early mission statement from when they came out in 2012, and they had to change and rearrange everything, and just how it's showing you. And it's terrible where you put this out to people. I said, this group has no interest for your men.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you and I and a lot of men in the chat, we can understand that. Okay, they don't care about us. But when you realize what they're doing, they're making a profit. Your own women are making, and I'm not even talking about their sexual orientation, just the fact that your own women don't care about you and they're making profit. They made millions of dollars since their inception to up to now. They've made millions of dollars off of the backs of our deaths. And this one woman can go and get 4 properties, $1 million properties. And none of the mothers and the fathers of the deaths that they marched and they talked about and they made a whole lot of BS about has not gotten 1 red cent.
Okay.
Is there any groups? Are there any, these mothers that have other children? Is there any groups that are trying to help kids go to college? Are these mothers, do they have any money to help them with their lives? Did BLM create a type of organization that they can put out a legal claim that can go against black men being assaulted, black women being assaulted? You don't hear about that because they have no interest about that.
Yeah, and so the thing is, man, Black Lives Matter is just another so-called civil rights organization that is benefiting from the death of black men, or pain of black men. I mean, it's just another organization. As I went over, I talked about real estate, teachers union, entertainment industry. I talked about judges, lawyers, insurance companies. I talked about hospitals, medical, emergency, prison, industrial. How do we de-incentivize? Okay. How do we remove the benefit that comes along with our death? That's the question that I want to ask. That's what we need to do. One brother up here, he says we need to, what did the brother say? He said we need to basically just remove ourselves from society. You see what I'm saying? Let me see, where's the brother at? Let me see. What suggestions do you have, though? How do we de-incentivize our death? Because as long as there's a monetary incentive to put us in the ground or cause us pain, they make movies out of it. How do we do that? I mean, how do we shut that down? And then we're gonna go to Toot Noah, Mike G. What are your thoughts?
Stop rushing to join groups like Black Lives Matter.
Mm-hmm.
Stop giving money to groups like that. Here's one thing. I tell you one thing, you should, as we as men, be choosy the women that you lay with.
Mm-hmm.
So you won't have issues like that. You won't be bringing your children up in situations like that. If you choose to not deal with certain types of women and also dealing with certain types of people, so you won't put yourselves in that. Now that's easier said than done, because you and I, we could just walk out of our house and a cop can roll up on us and they can shoot us. But I mean, the thing is, I think we as men, we got to be more choosier of what decisions we make, because we follow with our emotion. Because we hear something like, oh, Black Lives Matter, and we see something and we get all caught up in the fervor of marching. We got to be more sensible and cognizant. It's like, okay, what is this about? Why am I giving my money? Another thing, don't vote for situations that we don't do. Just the past election, Maxine Waters and even other women were getting on us to vote for what? We have a right to vote who we want to vote for.
Right. D says learn to live off the radar. That was his advice. Because we want to try to get some solutions here, but that's another one. Go ahead. What else were you saying about the elections?
Be careful who you vote.
Mm-hmm.
Don't let anybody tell you who you should vote for. And I think another thing, you even said this, we as Black men, even in our local areas, even in our cities, we need to be careful, and we need to get more in politically. You know, Dr. Claude Anderson said in one of his levels of gaining generational wealth, he said, we need to get involved in the political arena. We Black men, our lovely ladies are involved, but we're not involved.
Yeah. I appreciate that, man. Malika, thank you so much. Toot Noah, Mike G. Welcome. How are you doing today? What are your thoughts on this conversation, and what do you like to add to it?
I'm doing well, sir. Thank you for having me. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. We can hear you fine. Please join the conversation if you want to come in. You guys join the conversation if you want to come. Go ahead, Mike.
Well, I'm a younger individual, younger listener. I'm just turned 30, and I just had my first son. And
all right.
Thank you kindly. And this topic is really troubling to me, because like I didn't understand until recently how much of a commodity we were, as Brother Malika said. So I think the first thing, and I believe you mentioned it in a previous broadcast you had, where we have to look at ourselves as the prize and have some type of self-esteem so we realize that we're of value, so that as we go forward, we won't do things that are against our life, and just making better choices, being emotionally in control to survive situations where it's almost as if we got to live in constant scrutiny sometimes, and me having a son now, I wasn't scared before. I'm terrified now. I'm looking at my son like he's going to have to deal with the same things I had to deal with coming up, the same things at work, same things in the street.
Yeah, man. I have 3 sons. You see what I'm saying? And I'm scared to death. I'm scared to death of just this morning. Like, what if they go to college or go to high school and some little girl says they touched her inappropriately, and then they got some sexual misconduct charge, they get put out, or worse, they get a charge for one of these cases, one of these criminal cases, and they got to go down there and deal with that. What if my son, I just buy him 16, 17 years old, I buy him a nice new car, and the police pull him over and something horrible happens just because, he didn't have his blinker on, or he gets nervous, or because they pull guns out. These are the things that white men and white women don't necessarily have to deal with, not on that level, because Black men are so vulnerable, but they benefit from our death. Like there's a benefit from Black male death. as I said earlier, I notice how when tragedies happen to white people, they don't play it on television over and over again. Remember that
Right.
killing that happened in Las Vegas a few years back, where that white man opened fire from a sky rise and shot all those white people? We don't even see footage of that, you know, but we see George Floyd. How many times have we seen that? Dozen, half a dozen, 3 dozen, 4 dozen?
And I tell people, you know, I studied kinetic imaging when I was in college, which is time-based media. And, you know, every time you're looking at a movie or a clip, it's literally 24 to 50 pictures that are etched into your brain every second. And so I try not to even watch them because it's just reinforcing the trauma. It's either going to scare you not to do anything or charge you up and make you do something stupid. So I think that platforms like this, at least for myself, have been, I send them to my brothers, I send them to my cousins, because, you know, and I've trained martial arts, for years, just to have efficient emotional control. And just like when we were 16, my mother bought us matching BMWs, and my dad put us in the class to learn how to get pulled over and said, you're going to get pulled over. This is what you do. And, you know, my wife, who's not a lovely lady, not one of our lovely ladies, she's Afro-Latina. She says, like, that's crazy. Like, why would you have to do something like that when you learned how to drive? You know, and I'm just saying this is just something that comes with the territory. So I think, you know, one of the solutions is what you're doing right now, as far as making people aware, and especially making young men aware, because they don't know how much money they're making for not only organizations like BLM, but, you know, the court system, jail system, and insurance companies, like you said.
And, you know, let me tell you something else, man. Something interesting is happening now. You mentioned that your wife is Afro-Latina. You know, my fiance is Afro-Latina. And my sons, their mothers are black. You know, my first son, his mother's Black American. My second son, his mother's black, but she's from a different country, but she black too. Trust me, she been blackenized. Okay, so, but my thing is, with this recent young man who's been murdered, the one that got shot at the stop, what's his name again? Was it Dwight? What's his name? What's his last name? Oh man, what's the young brother that was just? I mean, so many black men shot. You know, traffic stop. Let me see, traffic shot. His mother is white. That was the whole point.
Yeah, his mother's white, and you know, and so even with that, they don't even care. They look at you. You're seen as a black man. Like, my nephew's very fair skinned. His mother's white, and you know, and I'm sitting there like, they don't. You have the black man's features. You're gonna still be seen as a black man. So you still have to conduct yourself and operate in a fashion that's conducive to surviving, but also have enough self-esteem to not walk around scared to live your life.
But the thing about, and his name is Dante White, and I want to give a shout out to Essential Entities. Thank you so much. That's my second member here on YouTube, I believe. So you guys make sure you join my YouTube channel. But the thing about Dante White is his mother is white. And so I want to see how this plays out, because oftentimes, if the lovely ladies don't see a benefit coming back to the matriarchy, so to speak, then they remove their support from the situation. In other words, when we see Kobe Bryant die in a helicopter crash, and the lovely ladies realize that the money that he had earned in his lifetime, which was $600 or $700 million, is going to go to his wife, or she's going to have control over Vanessa Bryant, it makes them want to talk bad about Kobe Bryant. So in a situation where Dante Wright, his mom is a white woman, and he you know, and some settlement is going to be reached eventually, right? That money is going to go to a white woman at the point where the lovely ladies realize that. I wonder, will they withdraw their support for justice for him? You see, I wonder, because it was so flagrant to me, Kobe Bryant. They weren't dwelling on the fact that this man died and his daughter died in a horrible car accident. It seemed like a helicopter accident. It seemed like they were more focused on the fact that his money earned would go to a non-Black woman, which lets me know that they are only considering us as commodities, what we can do for them in life and what we can do for them after death. It is the reason why they become so angry when a Black man marries outside of his race, because they don't see you as a human being deserving and desiring, you know, who deserves to have what it is he desires in life, but they see you as a commodity and a utility for this particular group. And it's not just white women, Black women that see that. I believe that this entire society sees us as utilities. What are your thoughts on that, Mike? And then we're gonna go to Shut Maynard.
I mean, this is probably redundant, but you know, like if there's an emergency, what do they say? If the ship's going down, women and children first.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so men in general are seen as commodities. We're the first people that go into war. We die the most in work-related injuries and accidents. I mean, we're seen as the forefront of being able to bear the brunt of any type of violence or any type of, you know, harm that comes to us in sacrifice for women. So I think that's something that's always going to happen. And then I think a lot of men, and we've already accepted that, because, you know, our natural nature is supposed to be to provide and protect for. So they think that they're entitled to it at a point. So I don't know if that's ever going to change, Uncle B.
Well, I think. Well, see, that was part of the social contract, and the social contract has been breached, and so because of the social contract has been breached, we as men are not receiving the benefits that we were receiving before, and so because of that, I think men are going to opt out. I think you see men opting out. 51% of Black men are not married and don't have children. You got another large group of percentage of Black men who are dating and marrying out of the race. Specifically, you got brothers who are going to the point they're marrying overseas. They don't want to have anything to do with women in this culture or this society. They don't go to church. It's because it's not just women. They don't go to church. They're not going to they're not going to work as much as they are. They're not buying houses. They're not getting married. They're not falling into any of the institutions that will keep them inundated in what society. They're basically recognizing that you guys are just using us, and I'm actually okay with you using me, but I want more for my use. I think that's what they realize. So thank you, Mike G, man. What else you want to say? And then we're gonna go to Shut Maynard.
Oh no, I'm good to go, man. Appreciate you. Thank you for having me. Thank you for the work you're doing. Really.
No problem. I appreciate all of you guys, and make sure you join. A couple of things. If you want to get the music, all the music is available on Spotify. Please watch my television show, Co-Parenting with the Sperlings. So far, we're at about 100,000, over 100,000 views actually. So I have to attribute that largely to you guys. People are really picking up this show. You can find Co-Parenting with the Sperlings on Tubi. The link is going to be in the chat room right now. All you gotta do is click on it, binge watch it. It's like 10 episodes. If you watch Co-Parenting with the Sperlings, hit the #1 button. Please hit the #1 button if you watch Co-Parenting with the Sperlings. The link is in the chat room. Also, the music that you guys have been listening to, it's here. Just check it out. It's on Spotify. It's everywhere. It's under D. Demond. Some of you guys say, man, you look like you was a fighter back in the day. Yeah, you know, those videos, the songs and the videos are about 8, 9 years old now, but they're still relevant because I always wrote about things that were relevant. And so that's why it still has that effect. But go ahead and check all that out. But in the meantime, make sure you hit the join the channel. All right, become a member. Shut Maynard, you've been waiting patiently. How are you today? Welcome to the conversation. What would you like to add to this thing? All right, looks like we got a real one. Essential Entities, man, welcome. It's always good to have you back. What are your thoughts on this conversation?
Peace and blessings to all y'all brothers.
No problem.
It's always an honor to speak to intelligent brothers and be in an intelligent space, man.
Yes, sir.
I hope you check that out, Dennis. I sent you a couple of things over there in PayPal support.
Okay. Yes, sir. Thank you so much, man. You guys, I appreciate Essential Entities, man. He is always looking out. You are So appreciated for what you do, man. Thank you so much. And thank you for also joining the channel. You're the second person to join the channel. So thank you so much, man. Anybody who wants to join the channel, join in. I'm gonna have some special stuff up there once we get some people in here. But what are your thoughts on this conversation, man? What do you think about this thing? We got family members. We got family members who benefit from our deaths. You see what I'm saying? So like it's like they just see us as a commodity. What are your thoughts on that, man?
Well, I've been whoever is that person that's becoming a distraction need to be muted.
No, don't worry about that. I got that. I'll
All
get
right,
you, man.
cool. Appreciate it. So now I just want to say that thank you again for I'm just reciprocating what you're doing, basically. We're in a reciprocal space here. And thank you for what you're doing, because actually you helped me so much. I didn't even know I was dealing with a mental illness. All this chaos going around me and all this delusion going around me was putting me in a space where it was making me mentally unhealthy. And you kind of like, by lifting the veils from a legal perspective, a societal perspective, and understanding these social contracts and just put it in a structured form, you can really like analyze things from a calculative perspective. Man, you helped me so much, man. I really appreciate the work that you're doing. It's actually priceless. You can't even put a monetary number on it. But with this thing with our sisters, what happened, what I'm learning is that by listening to the language, is that they're selling their hypergamous nature for crumbs. And the crumb, like, all right, these folks that we are dealing with are extremely intelligent. They study human behavior. And by watching all of this stuff, learning about Lyndon B, just listening to everything y'all guys been talking about, these folks have basically implemented this thing called the rat utopia amongst our women. They don't understand it, though. They don't understand that they're selling a hypergamous nature for crumbs, and now it's starting to implode upon themselves, and it's having this weird psychological imbalance amongst them. But the mainstream society is kind of like fueling it and making it seem like what they're doing is correct, which is also feeding to their deluded mentality. And we have become basically the victims of this, right? So thank you so much. But now we are waking up, right? And when we are waking up from a strategic standpoint to analyze these things that we are dealing with. And now I deal with it all the time, these attitudes and all this deluded stuff. And I'm like, oh, okay, I'm trying to have an intelligent conversation with this person from a structured standpoint, and they're completely just getting out of whack, out of control. And, so I just remove myself. But these sisters basically are selling a hypergamous nature, and in the sense that selling of the hypergamous nature is actually, causing them to have this rat utopia effect. Like Lyndon B. Johnson and these guys implemented certain things, and from a societal standpoint, that has starting to see these results, the rat utopia results in our community is real. And our sisters, they not women enough to look in the mirror and say, okay, let me fix this. So they don't have the goal or the tenacity or the moral standpoint to say, okay, let me take a strong look at myself and look at what I have contributed to this nonsense and chaos, and let me see if I can reverse the effects. Kevin Samuels said the other day on his platform that sisters need to start holding sisters accountable for their deluded and that's very profound, and I can't wait until that happen, brother.
I don't think they are. I don't think they're going to do that ever. I think that they are comfortable with the way things are because they get to benefit from that. All right. Now, before you go any further, we're going to have a quick little roll call here. Alexis, unmute yourself. Say what's up. 360D. Say what's up. 360D.
What's
do we
up?
know you? 360D. Are you there?
I'm there. How are y'all?
I'm good. Tony Guillory, are you there? Unmute yourself, Tony Guillory. Are you there? Tony Guillory. Unmute yourself. Got him. All right, that was the one right there. We had to get him up out of here, man. So anyway, yeah, we're not gonna let anybody else in for today. But the thing is, Essential, go ahead and finish saying what you were saying, and I want to ask you a question because let me bring this up, Essential Entities. You're a grown man, you know, you're a dude from the streets. You've had it hard. When they don't realize, a lot of us brothers, because we want to come to some solutions, how can we stop them from benefiting, okay, from our pain and our tears and our death? I know that they have an appetite for black men's tears. They consume our pain. And so when we have people like, you know, Van Jones, you know, speaking on behalf of black men, and he's on television crying like that, they don't feel sorry for us. You see what I mean? That creates more of an appetite for that. That's one thing we can do. Here's another thing we can do. When we see them showing videos of black men being murdered over and over, like George Floyd videos, other young brother Deontay White. We need to do something about that, even on social media. Don't share that. That's not something we want to share. They consume that like vampires. You understand what I'm saying, Essential Entities? Our family members, especially the women, they get on television and they cry and boo-hoo. They don't say it was racial. They say it was unfortunate. They say it was stuff like, what do they say? They say it was stuff like, we wanted, you got the family saying, we want to wait till all the facts come in, knowing damn well this man shot you because you were a black man and he was afraid of you. You see what I mean? I've come to the point, I'm going to just let y'all know this now. I don't want any women speaking for me if anything happens to me. I don't want not one woman speaking for me. I want my black brothers to speak for me. You understand what I'm saying, Malika? You hear me, Mr. Hassan?
Oh, I'm with you, man, 100%.
I don't want any women speaking for me. I want my brothers to speak for me, my black brothers to speak for me. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Just keep that in mind. Any woman that's speaking for me, she's out of line. Nobody speaks for me with my brothers. The reason I do this is for my black brothers. I want a T. Hassan Johnson to speak for me. You understand what I'm saying? I want guys, you know, Kevin Samuels to speak for me. I want a Minister Jap to speak for me. You understand what I'm? Black men who speak the truth. That's who I want to speak. Not a goddamn Van Jones, and not one of these women in my family. Even if I love them, even what I knew, no. Only black men can understand what I'm going through. You see what I mean? So just say that. That's another way we shut them down, because all those women gonna do is get on there and cry and whine and talk about injustice and my baby this and my baby that. You understand what I'm saying, Essential Entities?
Yes, sir. One thing I would like to add.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
You know, thank you so much. What you're doing, and you know, the brother Malika always said too, what you're doing and what is being done now is the first step. Because now I'm going to start a YouTube channel. You inspired me to convert all my stumbling blocks into stepping stones.
Amen.
And utilize it. Me and you had conversations. Thanks a lot. I really appreciate what you have done for me. You, the brother Kevin Samuels. Also a big shout out to the brother AC Hatchett, my personal life coach. So you know, y'all guys, y'all brothers, what you're doing and what y'all brothers is doing is essential to the growth and development and the liberation of our true peace. You know, you're gonna get peace with y'all guys. I have received more peace from listening to you than I have all of my life. So,
and that's why they don't want black men talking to each other.
Yes,
and
sir.
That's why I tell you, I understand what you're going through. You and I have very similar paths. And I won't reveal anything we talked about in our conference, but I understand what you're going. But the crazy thing is, it's a large percentage of other black men who are dealing with the same thing you dealt with and I dealt with. But they won't speak about it because they're made to seem as though there's something wrong with them when they bring up the things that happen to them or the things, the pain the society has caused to them. You see what I mean? This is the now you up there on the East Coast. I'm way down here in Texas, and before that, I was somewhere over in California. Bottom line is, you and I have more in common than you have with some of the women that are around you and some of the white folks that are around you, because they don't understand what you're going through in this society. But man, I'm proud of you. I'm happy for you, man, and I look forward to watching you grow on YouTube and everything else. All of your voices are important, and I appreciate it. But thank you so much. Alexis, man, unmute yourself, man. I got a question for you, man. Okay, how do we stop them from capitalizing on our deaths?
First and foremost, thank you and happy birthday once again. The way we do that is that we have to separate ourselves because they broke the social contract. Mm-hmm. So just as Black men are no longer in the church, we got to separate ourselves from any Black organization that is not ran by Black men. Mm-hmm. If we're not heavily involved in it, we need to step away from it, question it, research it, and put the information out there so that we all know and that we are all on one same accord.
Is SYSBM a viable option? Save yourself, Black men. We out. We bouncing. We going to Thailand. We just gonna scatter. We done. You know, it's the same thing that the Romans did. The Romans said, "Hell with the country we in. We're gonna leave and start our new country." And they basically took the Sabine women. Those are women from that were there in that country that they landed in, and they started a new nation with that country. Basically, anybody familiar with the story of the founding of Rome? Basically, it was some foreign men who landed on Italian peninsula. They found local women and made them wives. They took them, actually. And that's how they founded it. Is that what Black men are going to have to do? Just leave this destitute land that's been hostile and overrun from us and move other places and start our nation? Is that a viable option?
All options are on the table. So yes, that would be one, but we're not limited to just SYSBM.
Okay.
We are going to have to take this and be like, you know what? Well, okay, cool. SYSBM, you can go MGTOW. You can say Black, you can do whatever pill that you want to do. You can stay here and deal with a lovely lady. We have all the options, just like you tell us, we're all free. So the option is now focused strictly on what we want and what we deserve. Right. If you don't want to deal with anyone, then don't deal with anyone. They broke the contract. We are no longer tied to anyone but to ourselves, and primarily those who are in working order as far as Black men that we can work with. Why would I, if it's not involved, anything that's outside the purview of a Black man or that speaks for Black men in general, we are no longer involved in it.
Yeah. And see, the thing is, this toxic culture that they're like vampires with us. Like Black men are like the bait of they love to watch us die. They love to put us in jail. They make up stuff to accuse Black men. You could be a brother and had a Black man went to jail because a white woman had a dream that she raped him. You see what I'm saying?
I heard about that too.
For 28 years, I saw that on Dr. Tia Johnson's broadcast from about a month ago, and I remember seeing it. But it takes us to keep reminding ourselves of this is what's happening to us. This is what's happening to us. Because sometimes stuff will just pass by. If you just watch it on the news, you be like, oh, okay. But this is us. Like, you know, we have to continue to remind ourselves so we can remind ourselves what we are, because we get caught up in life and we forget to put things in perspective. But this is us. This is our sons. These are our nephews. This is what we're dealing with. Go ahead, Alexis. I didn't want to cut you off, man, but I did.
I mean, once again, I saw this on Facebook one time from someone I forgive me if I don't remember the person, but they said Black men are basically the princes with 1,000 enemies. Everyone is our enemy. We have no friend.
Yeah, that's true too.
And go on.
No, go ahead, brother. Well, I got another question for you. I want to ask you about, and I'm going to ask 360D this question too. Our family and friends, you know, when we get killed, and I'm a lawyer, and I'm coming at you guys from the perspective of a personal injury lawyer, which basically rights fall under that umbrella. They get settlement checks. They don't get justice. They don't even get judgments. They just get settlement checks. They don't get juries. They don't get jury verdicts. They don't change the law. They just get settlement checks. And, you know, by these so-called civil rights lawyers. Now, when I think of a civil rights lawyer, I don't think of some of the modern guys that we see today. Okay. I don't, when I think of civil rights lawyers, I think of Thurgood Marshall. You know what I mean? Alexis. What are your thoughts on these lawyers making all this money from You know, I think George Floyd's family got $21 million. What are your thoughts on that?
The most that they can get us is a payment. They can't get us justice. And the payment goes to the family to hush them up so that they don't fight for justice. The days of Johnny Cochran and attorneys such as yourself, those are no longer the attorneys that are put in the forefront, except that that gentleman that goes around, the professional ambulance chaser. I don't know who you, the bald-headed guy, the black man from.
I don't know. I've never met. His name is Benjamin Crump. I've never met him.
Yes,
before.
Benjamin Crump.
Know him. I don't know if his. I don't know. I don't know the man. I know that he is the go-to lawyer, but I wouldn't consider this civil rights. This is basically, it's something else. It's definitely personal injury, but civil rights means my right to vote, my right to live in certain houses where I want to live. He's basically more of a wrongful death attorney. Personal injury is what he's dealing with. And I'm gonna tell you guys, I had a case like this, like Joe James versus the city of New Orleans. And this is my first case, was a federal court case. I mean, imagine that. I'm 2 years out of law school, and one of my buddies asked me to co-chair, and hell, I ended up helping him try the case. Those are some of the worst cases, trying to sue the city, trying to sue the state for something that some cop has done wrong. And y'all can look it up. Joe James versus City of New Orleans, I believe it was 2003. 2003, Eastern District of New Orleans. We actually ended up getting them to offer him 5 figures. He thought that that all-white jury was going to come back in his favor, and we couldn't get over, the immunity defense that they have, qualified immunity. So the jury ended up giving him 0. And so what I'm telling you guys, based on my experience, these are some of the worst cases that any lawyer could take, which is why lawyers don't really deal with it. But see, now that the climate has changed, see, the problem was before, the juries would give the cops the benefit of the doubt. But see, now, and mind you, this is in 2003, 2004, so it was still the same then. What's happened over the past 10 years, I would say, is that we have the rise of iPhones, the rise of social media. And so people who would have normally given cops the benefit of the doubt have been inundated with cops doing horrible things over the past 10, 12, 15 years, whatever. And so they've been able to see this behavior up close and front with their own eyes. So they don't necessarily give the cops the benefit of the doubt. That George Floyd settlement of $27 million is unheard of. That is a huge settlement. That's usually judgment level money. That's not a settlement check. You see, and I think what's going to happen is the settlements are going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. And look, as a lawyer looking at Mr. Benjamin Crump, I don't have anything bad to say about him. I wouldn't do those type of cases, not based on my experience. But if he's found a way to make him pay, I think that's great. So, you know, and I'm talking to you guys as an attorney. Again, I don't know the man. I don't know how he operates. But what I'm saying is it's better for the city to have to begin to pay these astronomically large sums of money than to get away with paying $1 million here, $1 million there, because that's really nothing. When they have to start digging $27 million out every week, every 2 or 3 months, every 4 or 5 times a year, then there's going to be some change in those police forces. Because see, now you're hitting them where it hurts. You're hitting them in the bank accounts. So, you know, whatever you think about Mr. Crump, maybe you don't like him. I see what he's doing. You know, let these folks get hit for a couple of $100 million, and then they got it, and then you get a chance to go out. You got to raise taxes on the citizens and explain to them, well, we got to raise taxes because we're getting all these judgments. So think about that. Just think about that, fellas. There's nothing wrong. I'm here because I want to educate you guys, but I'm not caught up into what the lawyer gets and what the family gets. I'm caught up into, is this going to effectuate change in the system? Because now the system is forced to pay give what it really cares about. They don't care about putting a cop in jail. That's just the ego trip. What they do care about is that hard-earned cash, because that takes money away from them. Think about that. Now, do I consider Benjamin Crump a civil rights attorney? No, but I do consider him basically a personal injury lawyer doing wrongful death. But the question is, how do we feel about them, the judges and the lawyers and all these people benefiting from our death? It's big business, you know. What are your thoughts on that, Alexis? And then we're gonna go to 360D.
Well, I'll go ahead and retract my previous statements regarding Benjamin Trump, since you've explained it to me and clarified it. It is big business. It's a form of a stimulus check for the families, a wealth stimulus check that you use to bury and basically say that, yeah, we killed them, accept it, take it, and go away. And now you have to live with the fact that, yeah, I got paid off, but did we really get justice?
I mean, no, they didn't get justice in the sense that somebody went to prison. They didn't get justice in the sense that they got a judgment finding that this person was killed by preponderance of evidence in a civil case. We know he did, right?
Yes.
We know y'all killed him. We got it on video. We don't have to prove anything. We see everything pretty much we need to see right there. The justice comes, the punishment comes when that city or that county has to pay $27 million out of their coffers. That means less jobs, less programs. They're running out of funding for stuff that they want to do. People can't get the raises. That the whole city suffers as a result of that. And the only way they can get more money is that they have to give the taxpayers they're gonna have to raise taxes. So what does that mean? Somebody's job is on the line. And somebody's gonna say, no, we gotta, whatever that is, we gotta cut that out. These are we got to stop that. And so that's going to create an incentive for them to get rid of some of these dirty cops, in my opinion, because it's gonna break it. But go ahead.
I've always thought this, and I've heard this circulating around. Why haven't they implemented where the cops would have to pay out with their pensions some of the money that they?
I got a better one for you, man. I got a better one for you. Why don't we get rid of qualified immunity and make each one of these cops take out of their own insurance policy to cover their expenses if they get sued? You see, that's what we need to do. And see, at the point where you got 3 or 4 different charges and 3 or 4 different complaints, and the insurance company is going to do a much better job of analyzing whether or not you're a risk than the city will. If you can't get insured, and the city is like, well, we can't insure you. You high risk. The insurance company is going to say, this person is high risk. We can't insure him. We can't give him a bond. And then the city is going to say, well, one of our qualifications for you to work in this municipality is for you to get an insurance company that will give you some kind of bond or policy. And so they say, you're uninsurable, so you can't get a job here. Basically, you let the market take care of itself. Don't we love capitalism here in the United States?
Yes.
Okay, well, let's get rid of that qualified immunity. Let's make each one of these cops have a $5-10 million policy. Make them pay that out of their monthly payment. They're gonna try to keep all those complaints down. You see what I mean? They're gonna watch what they say, because if they get a complaint, that's gonna cause them. It's just like having points on your driver's record. The more points you have, the more complaints you have. The higher your premium. Hit them in the pockets, man, because we're not going to be able to curb racism. They're going to be racist, period. Trying to flush racism out of America is like trying to flush air out of a balloon. There won't be nothing there. You see what I mean? That's what's damn near holding it up, because racism is really just an extension of competition. I'm better than you. My team is better than your team. We're going to do better than you. We're going to win at all costs. Blah, 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 blah. Racism is here to stay. Wasn't racism, be tribalism. Wasn't tribalism, they'll find a reason not to like you, period. So what you want to do is hit them in the pockets, in my opinion. That's the quickest, cleanest way to do it. And it's not personal. It's just, I want a result. I don't pay for a try. I pay for a result. What do you want the result to be? I want to eliminate these racist cops from the system. How do you do that? You put other people in place to eliminate them. But that's something we can talk about another day. 360D, you've been patiently waiting. What's your thoughts on this conversation?
Hey, Mr. Dennis, how you doing this afternoon?
I'm good, man. Thank you for patiently waiting. What are your thoughts on this conversation, man?
Yes, sir. I appreciate the opportunity. First of all, you've been a big inspiration. I've actually been in the black male space. I kind of been in the shadows for a little bit over 3 years, just listening in. So I just appreciate the opportunity to come on the platform.
No problem. You're welcome.
Yes, sir. To me, as far as you're dead on what you just said. Also, I'm on the younger side as well. I'm a 24-year-old man. So
Cool.
It's just been inspiring hearing you guys. I think you're dead on as far as where you were saying that's the cold hard truth is that money, you have to hit them in the pocket. I think as black people, we get too caught up. We get caught up in emotionalism, and then we're trying to come at it as this moral type of thing, trying, in a sense, trying to like shame them into action. And the cold hard truth is that's not going to work. My dad and I have these talks all the time, when it comes to college athletes, professional athletes and stuff. If you have a demand, make it be known, you have to hit them in the pocket. That's the only way when it comes to outside of our community. Now, when it comes to inside of our community, I still have a problem with this because as you were previously talked about, Black women are looking at us as utilities. So it's like it's not even a sense of wanting to relate to us anymore. It's the utilization of us now. That's what we've been reduced to. You can look at it through a relationship type of view. You can look at it through the political type of view. It's been the utility of us.
So the thing I want you to pick up to it. You've been in these manosphere spaces for a minute. All women look at men as a utility. That's part of the social contract. We look at them for what they can do for us. They look at us for what we can do for them. The problem is, man, there's no respect flowing from them to us. That's the first thing. They don't respect us. On top of that, they feel as though they can be replaced, or we can be replaced. You can take this child and put him with this man, even though that man is not his child's, is not the child's father. They feel like we mix and match. They'll take this man, they'll take his money, his penis, and his time. You see what I mean? And we allow it. And the reason that we allow it to do it is because largely we've been raised with that matriarchal simp chip that's implanted in our brain, that queen, mother, goddess simp chip that has been placed in the back of our brains, and we're willing to deal with it. And we have to cut that out. I tell you brothers this, and I don't think I can tell you enough. Stop being so nice.
We have to be the bad guys to them now. I'm sorry. It's the only way.
Yeah, stop being so understanding. Stop being so nice. Stop being so accommodating. Generally, you tell a woman what you want from her from day one. Either you're gonna cook, clean, cooperate, you're gonna stay fit, or I'm done with you. We can end this right now because I can replace you rather than chase you. And I'm not gonna try to change you. I'm just gonna move on. And you gotta be, and that sounds rough for you. Some of you guys listen, like, oh my God, it works. Trust me, it works. It works. And see, the thing is, if she can't take it, then she wasn't meant for you in the person. You don't need that stress and drama. You got too much to deal with as Black men already. You have too much. You guys are 24 years old and 30 years old. Y'all just hit the tip of it. I'm 46. I'll be 47 tomorrow. You got too much to deal with. Most of y'all are expected to live 5 or 6 years less than everybody else on the planet, or everybody else in Western culture, Western societies, because you're dealing with so much stress. You're dealing with so much childhood drama. You're dealing with so many people who are coming after you, trying to take you down. There's so much to think about. You're so inundated. You've got too much to deal with. The last thing you want to deal with is some hard-headed, thick-necked woman that's giving you a hard time every time you walk in the front door. It's better to be by yourself than to be with one of those women. I did that for 11 years. And now, because I raised my standards, I raised my standards for people around me, I'm better off. But we kind of got off the topic a little bit, 360D, but I wanted to bring that in. But 360, go ahead and finish me.
I had a couple other things, but
go ahead, brother.
It kind of hits on actually what we're talking about now, like going back to the whole thing with, like you said, the matriarchal mind, because I'm thinking about like what Maxine Waters said, during the election. It's these things that we literally, it's taking our masculinity away. Like you have a right as an American citizen to vote how you choose,
Right.
whoever you choose. And you're trying to do this big mama thing of trying to shame us into your cause. And I
Yeah.
hate for this to sound like common sense. You were asking us about solutions. Well, I hate to say it, but it is common sense. If you're voting, go online, see these different platforms and see whoever, has your share of viewpoints on how you think they should be ran and vote for them. You don't have to wait around for a woman to try to tell you how to vote. That's them becoming masculine, So that kind of hit me, because it's like, who are you to try to tell us? Who are you to try to take away our basic, right as an American citizen of trying to vote however we choose to, Like you said, it's that embedded matriarchy that we have as Black men. And also, the whole thing with relationships, like we already talked about, like you said, it's one dude for this, one dude for that, mesh it all together.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of guys, they just go behind it. They're in that feminine role,
Hey man, it's a lot to go on. It's a lot we can talk about, and this is kind of like a topic that we need to revisit. But what do you think about SYSBM? Is that a viable option? Should we just say, cut it, we out? This society is dead to us. It's not working. We just out here. What do you think about that?
So I think the solution is that Black men are going to have to come together. I don't need to bring up any other content creators on your page, but I know you're a close affiliation with them. But Kevin Samuels, so he had a show last night, and it was sad, to say the least.
Yeah. What happened?
There was a woman on there that literally said, it came out of her mouth what we all seen through their actions. She literally came out with it yesterday and said, like, now that we're free and independent, why would we belong to Black men? I don't know if you check.
They never belong to Black men. That's
right.
The thing. Let me and see. Look, brother, I appreciate it. I've been building up to this point. I've listened to Minister Farrakhan. I've listened to all the Black preachers throughout my life, and I appreciate what they were doing for their time. And much respect to all the elders, but what they didn't do is they didn't correct Black women in their course.
Right.
When it was time. And so now, because of that, and I understand, because if you start talking to Black women, they'll leave the church, they'll leave the mosque. I get that. But they didn't correct them. They have, for centuries, sided with white folks and white society against us. They have never been ours. They have never been Black. They've never been with us. When I pointed out to you guys that Latino women and Black women had the same option when it came to welfare, but the Latino women, the Black women, they took the welfare, got rid of their man. The Latino women, they took the welfare and kept their man because they chose to. You see what I mean? That's why, because they chose to. And so you brothers have to realize that your women are not willing to fight for you. They're not willing. They don't think you're worthy of fighting for. They will disrespect you in public. They will go on television for the past 5 decades and disrespect you openly. You have to at some point accept the reality that we live in, that they don't want you like that they don't love you like that. They see you as property. And if you are not strong enough in God and love yourself enough to recognize what's right before you, then that's your problem. You're going to die along with them. You see, but what we're looking at is a spiraling down of what we call Black society. It's just spiraling down. They brought Black women over here in droves after 1808. And it was, and slavery ended in, 1865. Matter of fact, emancipation was signed sometime, 1862, 63. So Black women did less than 50 or 60 years of slavery with us. It was Black men who were brought to this country in an 80 to 20 or 90 to 10 threshold. We did that by ourselves. They've never been on our side. They just brought them over here to be concubines and breeders. And so what I'm trying to tell you, brothers, is, man, you don't owe anybody anything, man. Do what God wants you to do. Follow God's lead for you. Put God first, and wherever God leads you, that's where you're supposed to be. That's all I'm saying, brothers. You deserve to be loved at this point, but you got to start to love yourselves. And I've been subject to that same matriarchal chip that you guys are subject to, and I had to break it. And the way I broke it was by leaving the country, seeing how I was supposed to be treated, recognizing that this is who I am and who I'm supposed to be. And then at that point, I wasn't going to take less. You see what I'm saying? But go ahead, 360.
If you don't mind me sharing, oh yes, and you were asking me about what black men should do. One, again, we should come together, and this whole thing of like shaming other black men of dating women of other races, that has to stop. It's just as long as you're leading and in the leading position, and we can work together, that's what matters. Now, personally, I've been fortunate enough to be raised in a 2-parent household. My parents have been together for almost 30 years. It'll be 30 years this year. So I've been blessed to see it.
Let me tell you this, my opinion to you. When I tell you guys to embrace being the bad guy is the one that people shame and he doesn't care.
Right.
Matter of fact, I date women. I don't care what you think. I got a white girl, Latino girl, Hispanic girl. I don't even date black. Tell them that. I don't care what you're gonna do about it. What are you gonna do about it? To ask them that. You can shame me all about what are you gonna do about it? You ain't gonna stop me from using this passport. You're not going to stop me from taking my money and spending it on doing what I want to do with it. So what are you going to do about it? Right. You know, as we say in the old day, run up. If you won't smoke, you feel froggy, jump, run up. There's nothing they can do about it. See, the only reason you're even concerned about them or what other black men have to say about what you do with your penis and your wallet, brother, is because you're still beholden to them. What I'm telling you is you don't need anybody. Okay, and those black men are oftentimes the agents of black women anyway. They're like, drone simps or something like that. They got somebody else with a hand up their butt, guiding them as to what to say and what to do. That's their programming. You have to tell them, okay, bro, but there's nothing you can do about it. You're not going to stop me from flying overseas. You're not going to stop me from being with this girl, that girl, that. I'm going to be with whoever I want to be with. I don't care what you say. You have to be out. You got to be. If they're going to be dogs, you got to be wolves. You see what I'm saying? If they're going to be black bears, you got to be grizzly bears. If they're going to be pigeons, you got to be eagles and hawks. I don't care what you think. I'm going to do it anyway. And there's nothing you can do about it. You see what I'm saying? That's like the running back, that's like the football, like the Dallas Cowboys and when they had all that wall of Dallas. And my man used to say, we coming through this hole. With Emmitt Smith is coming through this hole right here, and there's nothing you can do about it. Try to stop me. And what you're gonna see is they're gonna quit. Ain't nothing they can do about it, brother. Enjoy your life. There's nothing they can do about it. Do what I'm trying to tell you guys for the past hour and 43 minutes. That these people benefit from your pain, they benefit from your death. Now we can construct this. What can we do about it? What you can do to counteract that is live your life and be happy.
Right.
Live your life. Post the pictures up on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube. Let them see you enjoying your life, living your not just living your best life. You living their best life. You living the life that they wish they had. That's how you stop that. When they're gonna get tired of seeing you living good and living happy. Make them stick to their stomach, and there's nothing they can do about it. Period. That's how you stop that, brother. But either way, man, I love you guys. I appreciate it, man. We're gonna end this with my new video. But you guys appreciate what I'm doing, man. Join the channel. All right, join the channel. Contribute to the super chat, the Cash App, and the PayPal. Above all, man, thank you, everybody. All of us essential entities, 360D, Malika, everybody who came in, man. I appreciate you guys. God bless you. And I'm out.